When I said women, what does that mean? In general, women could be bought and sold. There's a verse in the Quran. There's a verse in the Quran, chapter 4, verse 19.
You say they had rights, but they still used concubines and stuff during those times.
Who?
During that era, after defeating another army, they used to make women as concubines. No different to what ISIS are doing now, anyway. I mean, why do you think ISIS?
Why does ISIS come into our discussion?
No, I'm just saying, like a lot of the things.
Amazingly, what happens nowadays, it is very unfair to bring ISIS into every discussion on Islam. ISIS only came about when?
About 5-6 years ago.
No, less than that.
Okay, but
I mean, wait. Now we agree that ISIS only came around.
Yeah, 5-6 years ago.
What do you have to say for 1,000 years of Islamic civilization?
No, but we're talking about ISIS theology, not that they came.
I'm saying to send them to hell.
Yeah.
I'm saying, what do you have to say about 1,000 years of Islamic civilization?
Yeah, but
Islamic libraries, hospitals, universities, coexistence, peace, justice, protection for Jews and Christians. What do you have to say about that? Ottomans, then the Umayyads in Spain, and then the Ayyubids.
Armenians, if I remember correctly.
When was that? When was that?
About 100.
So you ignored 5 centuries of Ottoman history, and you jumped to Armenian genocide.
You're being very selective.
No, I'm not being selective. You are. No. I am saying. Look at Ottoman history from year 1299, from the time of Uthman I to 1924. And amazingly, have you studied the Armenian genocide? Have you studied it?
No, but I suppose you've got something
Who was
to say.
responsible for Armenian genocide?
I suppose the Armenians. Then.
No.
Then who?
No.
That
Turkish government.
general.
Turkish government.
Yeah.
And who were they? Young Turks.
Yeah.
Do you know who Young Turks were?
Who were they?
Do you know who they
No,
were?
I don't know.
Okay, this is your homework.
Right.
Go and study and see who Young Turks were.
Okay.
Whether they were
Enlighten me
actually
now anyway,
they were
enlighten me.
actually Ottomans
Yeah.
or not. Because when did the genocide take place?
About 1920 or something.
Okay, during the First World War.
Yeah.
Okay, and this was amazingly Bernard Lewis, who is considered to be an authority on Ottoman history. Bernard Lewis actually has come out, and he's Jewish, by the way, and he's very close to Israel. That says a lot, by the way. Yeah, and he is of the opinion that the Turkish government. There is a distinction between Turkish government and Ottoman government. The Ottomans are already gone. Ottomans are gone. By the year 1900, Ottomans are finished. Okay, you don't have Ottomans there anymore. Okay, so because Ottomans had ample opportunities to massacre the population of lands they conquered. Did they do it?
But they were genetically the same
No.
people
The
anyway,
fact
so it's
that
like
you
saying-
mention Armenians, you obviously have no other examples to give yet.
No,
Okay,
just
there may
off
be
the cuff.
examples.
There may be, but what I'm trying to do is just balance, because you were saying, oh, they did this good, this good. I'm just saying that, look,
Young Turks were a bunch of secular activists who effectively got rid. No problem. Let me intrigue. Let me cause some intrigue so you goes. Young Turks were a bunch of secularist activists who effectively removed the Ottoman Caliphate from its place. So, if anything, Ottomans were the victims, not the aggressor here. If the blame goes to the Turkish government, it goes to Young Turks. But Bernard Lewis even disputes that. He goes, it was not the government policy, it were the people, the Turkish people in the countryside who started to attack Armenians because the Armenians were siding with Russia. Armenians were siding with Russia. So that's why Armenians were treated that way, which is wrong, which is not the Islamic policy. Islam does not under any circumstances allow indiscriminate killing, even in war. Even in war, the Prophet Muhammad and his teachings are very, very clear that even in war, do not cut trees, do not scatter beehives, do not kill animals unless you're going to consume them for food, do not destroy buildings, do not demolish churches and monasteries, okay? Do not kill women, do not kill children, do not kill the elderly, do not kill monks and priests who are living in the monasteries. And the list goes on. And all of this comes from the Prophet. If we have clear-cut teachings of the Prophet, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why do we need to bring ISIS up every time we talk about Islam?
No, because obviously they believe that they're following the tradition.
So did the KKK. So did the KKK. So did the communists. Communists believe they are atheists, right? And they're doing it for atheism, right?
Like communism is an ideology, basically. So
an atheistic ideology, right or wrong? Yes.
No, atheism is not an ideology. Communism, socialism, they're all ideologies, and most of all ideologies, they tend to be sort of going one direction. Extremism.
Okay, no problem. No problem. So
atheism is just a lack of belief. That's all.
Okay.
It's not an ideology. It's not like, oh yeah, we believe in this. We just say, okay, if there's enough proof, we'll turn to religion.
So the point is, Islam has a magnificent history. Okay. We have so much. Based upon what? And you are Mr. Based upon what?
Based upon what most of the Islamic achievements were Iranian, Persian.
What do you believe? What is magnificent to you?
What's magnificent? You tell me.
You said I don't think Islam's history is magnificent.
Yeah, tell me
what do you think magnificent?
Tell me
is?
what's magnificent. You tell me what it is.
Great economically, morally, ethically, politically, militarily. Islam was great.
Yeah, but
so do you disagree?
But in terms of
Charitably, if that's a word.
Sorry?
Charitably, if that's a word.
Charitably, yes.
In terms of the academics, right? Like, what can you say? Like, people always talk about. Like,
what do you know about Islamic academia?
People always talk about like.
What do you know about?
These guys, right?
What do you know about Islamic academia?
But a lot of these guys were like Persians. Okay, they already had the knowledge from before.
No.
A lot of knowledge came from
Who was Persian? Name them.
Who wasn't? They all were. Like,
okay. Let's say they were.
Let's always talk about Rumi, right?
Wait.
Rumi was a Persian.
Wait, no. Rumi was from Balkh.
He was a Persian, yeah. He was Iranian, yeah.
Okay. Wait. Rumi.
Balkh is in Afghanistan.
Yeah, exactly. It's Persia, right?
Call it Persia, no problem.
Most of the Muslim achievements were Persian, Iranian, okay, and they already had a big civilization.
Wait.
They already had a big civilization.
So Islamic Spain was all Persian.
What was the achievement now?
Do you know about the translations and the works written in Spain?
They translated it, exactly. They translated it.
The works written. Did you hear me? Wait. Did you hear me? Works written in Spain. Original works written in Spain on science, philosophy, history, you name it. Poetry. Every single academic field.
But what you've got to realise.
Wait. He's just making a claim now.
Yeah.
So some people just like to, they smirk and they throw things at you and they think they made a point. But I want to show him why he's wrong.
Dynasty like the Romans did, the Egyptians did. Yeah. So
absolutely.
It's just part and
so what is so
many.
unique? What is so unique about Islam?
That knowledge is already there.
Yeah, that's a valid point. Okay. Do you want to ask me that question?
Go on then.
What is so unique about Islam?
Don't finish
Islam, in the words of Karen Armstrong.
One person. Opinion.
Do you want me to give more names?
Well, I mean, again,
how many do you need?
There's a lot of
How many do you need? 10, 20? I can give you names.
Well, okay, carry on. I'm sure you can.
I just said one name,
okay.
but I can give you 20.
Okay,
you can count them.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
Now.
So you don't want 20 names?
No, but I'll continue.
So that's why I mentioned one person, so that you know that it's not my opinion.
Okay.
There are people who are not from the house of Islam, and they acknowledge the positive achievements of Islam. Islam effectively.
But then he'll come across and say, likewise, I can name as many as you do who counteract your argument. But carry on.
Bring the names.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to what he's going to come across.
Yeah, no problem. Bring the name. He can bring the name. Do you have any names?
Yeah, I'm one of them. Yeah.
And who are you? You might be.
I'm not going to give my name.
Why not?
He's not famous.
You're a professor. You're a professor in history. Are you a professor in history?
Well, I could be.
Okay.
Anyway, let's continue. Let's not go into semantics.
So ad hominems and no problem. But when you make a point and it's not based in evidence or sources, then it's just like camel's fart.
Right.
I'm sorry, Especially neither one's. As they say in our language, Punjab. Are you from?
No, carry on.
I'm from Pakistan. My half of my family is from Punjab.
Okay.
They have a saying when camel farts, it's neither it's neither in the sky nor on the earth.
Okay.
Because it's in the middle.
Okay.
Right? So when you make a claim like camel farts, it's just a camel's fart, right? So unless you bring evidence, sources, right? So my point is, Islamic civilization wasn't only Persian. You're wrong.
Not all of it,
Okay.
but the great
Even let's say 99% of them Persian. Let's say who are they? Muslims or non-Muslims? Who are they?
How is it?
If there was something special about Persians, why were the Sassanids why were the Sassanids not able to produce people like Ibn Sina, people like Al-Farabi, people like Ibn Nafis, people like Rumi? Why were the Sassanids not able to do so? Why did they have to be Muslims and then suddenly wake up and lo and behold you see Persians coming out with poetry, science, literature, religion, theology.
Predates Islam. The Persian literature predates Islam. It's not, it's not.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is, okay, such as...
Shahnameh, have you not read the Shahnameh?
Is it pre-Islamic?
Yeah, Shahnameh is pre-Islamic, right?
Okay, when was it written? When was it written?
It was written, it was compiled by
Firdausi,
when? About 1,000 years ago, but
when?
The story predates it.
Okay, wait.
The story is
So you know when it was written, right?
Yeah, 1,000 years ago, yeah.
Written where?
Khorasan.
Where?
I don't know, I can't remember where. I don't know where you were
in the Ghaznavid court.
Yeah, of course.
In the court of Sultan Mahmud Ghaznavi. Who asked Firdausi to write Shahnameh?
He wrote it himself. He wasn't asked to write it.
No. Do you know the history?
Yeah, I do know.
Do you know what happened?
Yes, I know what happened.
Okay, what happened?
He wrote the.
But you didn't know you didn't know where it was written. So how do you know?
He wrote the Shahnameh because he wanted to compile Persian history because the Arabs and the Arab culture. And
it is not history. Shahnameh is not history.
It's legendary history.
It is fiction.
It's legendary history. Okay.
It is not history. Hello.
Yeah, but legend means
legend is not history.
No, but it's the history.
It's an oxymoron. When you say legendary history, it's an oxymoron.
It's the knowledge that was passed down.
Okay, so it's not history. It's either legend
but then
or history.
Zeus, you can't say was history because that was legend.
No, that's mythology. That's the thing, right?
It's either legend or history.
Are you telling me that the Qayyanian dynasty did not exist?
I'm asking, it's either legend or history. Which one is it?
It's history that was passed down.
Have you read Firdausi?
Yes, I've read the Shahnameh.
All of it?
Yes.
Okay, so give me one example, one story. Whose story have you read?
Well, I've read about the Qayyanian dynasty in Afghanistan or wherever it was.
No, Shahnameh. Which story have you read in Shahnameh? You've read the Shahnameh.
I read the whole book. Sohrab and
Is Sohrab
brother, he's wasting your time on
exactly, I know.
Seriously.
So the point is, we understand that this gentleman is just throwing things in the middle without any substance. So we move on. Okay, because it's Islamic civilization. Islamic civilization. So Muslim civilization does not begin in 2011 when ISIS comes to rise. Okay, Islamic civilization started in the 6th century with the advent of the Prophet and the Quran. Okay, the Quran was revealed. It did something to the Arabs, and they came out and they created the Islamic civilization.
Yeah, but
how
with all due respect to the Arabs, I mean, the way I look at it, I mean, they believe in all sort of different demigods.
No.
So for them
we're
to
talking about Muslim Arabs when they became Muslims.
Yeah, but how they became Muslims, say for example, I mean, for them, okay, if someone's coming to the store, okay, instead of that God, we'll just believe in this God. No big deal. I mean,
I think it was as simple as that because they actually explained why they believe in this God. Okay, have you read some of the sentiments?
First of all, now for those people to be believing in some other form of demigod or whatever,
no, there's no demigod they believe in.
Or some idol worshipping or whatever the Arabs used to do at that point of time because they were all idol worshippers. So
not all.
Well, most of them anyway.
Well,
so for them, I mean, if it was very simple for them to stay believing some idol as a god, it won't need great sort of cognitive things. Is them believing.
So why did they fight Muhammad?
What?
Why did they fight Muhammad? Why did they try to kill him for 20 years?
Because he was upsetting them, I suppose.
Upsetting them?
Yeah.
Why?
Because something to do with...
So if it was only the matter of believing in one idol or the other idol, why did
they didn't try to kill him. His uncle was protecting him.
I'm talking to him, sorry.
His uncle was protecting him though. And
I'm talking to him, sorry. I'm sorry. We're having a discussion now.
It was something to do with trade and everything because if everyone didn't come to Mecca, if they got rid of the idols, they would have trade or something.
No, that's a theory. That's a theory. But why would they come out of Mecca to attack Medina?
I don't know.
Hey?
Why did they come out of Mecca to attack Medina?
Because they saw him, perceived him as a threat with his...
Threat to what?
To their way of living.
He was politically insignificant.
Yeah,
he was so weak that they besieged him.
Obviously, they did perceive him as a threat. Otherwise, they wouldn't have bothered, would they?
Why? What was the threat?
I'm not a historian, but
so the new faith did pose not only a religious, political, or economic threat. It posed an existential threat to them, right?
Yeah, because say for example, if I was head of a tribe, I believe in God, this God, I had power. Now, if someone else is saying, you come across and say, no, I'm the prophet, and all these should just believe in me, then I lose my power. So I'm going to go against
if you didn't have firm belief in something, sorry, you can go. If you believed in something, let's say, if you don't have a firm belief in something, you just change one bicycle to another bicycle,
no, but they
one
tend
car
to
to
follow
another
their
car.
tribal leader, don't they?
Okay. So they would fight and die for the tribal leader.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they used to do at the time, remember?
Right. Okay. So they would simply go out and fight the Romans and the Persians just because they love the tribal leader.
Well, I mean, people still do it. They join the military.
No, they don't. They don't.
Of course they do. I mean, you look at...
And they die of depression. You know the American army?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those who've been to Iraq?
Yeah.
You know the suicide rate?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so why were Muhammad's companions not committing suicide?
Yeah.
If you know why these people are committing suicide? Because they don't know why they're there. Yeah. They don't know why they have to kill children and women and bomb civilian areas. They don't know. But Muhammad's companions did no such thing. They believed that they were fighting for a just cause, and they established peace and justice in the land. And that's why they were so happy. And that's why they kept going as far as southern France and northern China and down India in Sindh. Okay, within Muhammad died, peace be upon him, in 632. 732. Exactly a century later.
So, same reason as the Christian Crusaders went across and looted Jerusalem, I suppose. It was their faith in their...
No.
So you cannot make the same analogy
The
there.
Crusaders.
The Crusaders barbecued Muslim because they were hungry dogs. Muslim didn't do that. That's the difference.
Well, that's Marathon Oman. It's one incident where the Crusaders they cooked people and ate them.
Exactly.
Muslims didn't do anything like that. But the Muslims had principles. They could not go and cause indiscriminate destruction. Okay, amazingly, even archaeology highlights the point that Muslims, when they took cities, they flourished. They started city of Jerash, for example. Jerash in Jordan. Okay, it was a Greek city. Then it became a Roman settlement, and then it became a Christian settlement, and then the Muslims, the Umayyads, established their center in Jerash. It's still there. Okay. Archaeologists have studied that in the Muslim period, the economy of the city boomed. It exploded. You know, people became very prosperous, and we're talking about Jews and Christians and Muslims. Okay? And Muslims were the minority, by the way. Muslims were the minority, ruling class. They were only ruling, and the masses were Christians mostly, right? And they became prosperous after Muslims had taken these cities. So the claims of devastation you hear from Islamophobes or Islam haters, such as Robert Spencer and people like that, who's teaching the American military amazingly, you know, these are all lies. These are all lies. So the bottom line is, when you study history objectively, you come to realize that there is a lot of people don't understand. You know, there's a lot of people don't understand.
But I'm sure,
and they make assumptions.
There'll be
and
other
claims.
Historians who will be looking at it from a different perspective.
Bring them up.
I'll have to look it up, because I'm not going into the history.
Okay, it depends what you want. Do you want objectivity, or you want a counter view to my view?
We want the truth.
Thank you. Okay, so for that you go and study academics. Okay, what academics are telling us that when Muslims took these settlements, they flourished. We do not see any signs of devastation in archaeology. In archaeology, we do not see signs of devastation. Okay, in Spain, in the Middle East, and in Central Asia. When Muslims went into Central Asia, because I'll tell you why I know these things. One of my teachers from SOAS, from School of Oriental and African Studies, is Hugh Kennedy, and he has conducted archaeological work in Central Asia. And one of his students, her name is Feni Bassad. She is French. She's a French archaeologist. She did archaeology in Jerash. Okay? And both concluded that after the Muslims took these cities, these settlements, they flourished economically, and people prospered. And they can tell from different, they have different ways of assessing pottery and how buildings were constructed and how people lived, and their food. Even from the food, they can tell whether they were happy or not. You know, the quality of the food. Yes. Archaeologists, they conduct very delicate work, and they come up with these conclusions.
So then,
archaeology is in favor of Islam, by the way.